The digital display flips from 6:59 to 7:00. You do not close your eyes. You have been awake for exactly 60 seconds, as you have been for 19 consecutive mornings. The alarm is set to trigger at 7. It never does. You lie still and watch the seconds tick past the mark. The room is cool. The floorboards are smooth against your bare feet. The street outside holds its breath. You wait for a sound that does not come. You have started staying awake through the scheduled moment just to see what happens when you refuse to let it complete its function. Nothing happens. The phone screen dims. The house settles into a deeper quiet than usual. You sit up. The coffee machine on the counter is already warm, though you know you left it unplugged last night. You did not think to plug it. You stand in the hallway and listen to the silence you have accidentally created. Go back. Let's start from when it was still ordinary. Before the silence, there was only the routine. You wake at 7 on the dot, reach for the nightstand, and swipe the screen to stop the chime before it can fully rouse you. Your feet find the same worn patch of hardwood near the bedroom door. The kitchen smells like yesterday's roasted coffee grounds and the faint citrus of the dish soap you buy every other Thursday. You keep a small black notebook on the counter, the kind with grid paper and a heavy cloth cover. You use it to log sleep hours, water intake, and the occasional work note. The pen you use is a specific brand, black ink fine point, because it skips less on the thin paper. You buy them in boxes of 10 and keep the spares in the top drawer. It is a habit you picked up 3 years ago during a period of professional burnout, a quiet way to prove to yourself that your days had structure. You write the same check marks, you drink from the same heavy ceramic mug, you follow the same route to the train, counting the same sequence of traffic lights. There is nothing remarkable about any of it. The rhythm is dull, reliable, and entirely yours. You move through it without thinking. You trust the world to be exactly what it appears to be. You pour the water, you turn on the light, you step out the door. It starts on a Tuesday. You are awake at 6:59. The phone is still dark. You assume the scheduling app glitched, that the minor update you installed last week reset the local notification queue. You check the settings carefully. The time is correct. The toggle is green. You clear the cache just to be thorough. The logic holds. The mind invents patterns where there are only coincidences. You trust the science. You shrug and get up anyway. You are tired, but the extra minute does not matter. You make your coffee. You write your first check mark in the notebook. The ink flows normally. The house is quiet. Later that evening, you notice the same thing happens at work. A calendar reminder for a 4 o'clock meeting pops up on your screen at 3:59. You have not changed the notification delay settings. You assume it is a server sync issue, a minor drift between your phone and the corporate cloud. You tap dismiss and join the call. Everything proceeds normally. The explanation is reasonable. The notebook does not care. You close it. You do not think about it again for 11 days. The pattern returns. It happens again on the 14th morning. You wake at 6:59. The screen stays dark. You could ignore it. You could assume the phone's internal clock is simply running fast, a minor hardware quirk that costs nothing but a fraction of your morning. Or you could start tracking it. You could set a secondary alarm on a different device or time the exact gap with a stopwatch and force the anomaly into measurable data. The first option preserves your evening. You watch your show, drink your tea, and close the door on the quiet anomaly. The second option fractures your routine. You will have to sit in the dark and watch the numbers change, trading comfort for a truth you cannot yet name. The pressure is not loud, but it is constant. It hums in the walls. You decide to pay attention. You buy a simple digital timer from the pharmacy down the street. You place it on the nightstand beside the notebook. You lose the comfort of unobserved sleep. The timer confirms it. 60 seconds, exactly. It happens the next day. It happens the day after. You begin to notice it elsewhere. A delivery notification for a package you ordered arrives exactly 1 minute before the estimated window closes. The microwave timer counts down to 0, but the interior light shuts off a minute earlier. You stop calling it a technical fault. It is not random. The structure is identical across completely unrelated systems. A phone alarm, a shipping algorithm, a kitchen appliance. Each one pauses for precisely 60 seconds before executing its intended function. You sit at the kitchen table and write the timestamps in your notebook. The numbers align perfectly. The logic is hidden but consistent. Something is operating with intention. It is not breaking the rules of your environment. It is bending them in a way that leaves exactly 1 minute of unclaimed space. You stare at the grid paper. The repetitions confirm the rule. The question is no longer what is causing it. The question is what it wants you to do with the extra time. You find the explanation on a sleep science forum. It is called anticipatory wakefulness. The body learns routines so thoroughly that it begins to simulate the stress of an upcoming event slightly ahead of schedule. The nervous system triggers a microadrenaline spike to prepare you for the alarm. You feel awake a minute before the trigger because your brain is simply practicing the transition. The articles cite cortisol spikes, circadian misalignment, and conditioned response. You read them slowly. You feel the tension leave your shoulders. You exhale. You close the laptop. The house feels normal again. You lean back in your chair. Then your thumb catches on a loose page edge. You pull it free. It falls onto the counter. You look down at the date. It is 3 years old, the same time, the same gap. You were not tracking an anomaly, you were tracking a baseline. The pattern predates your awareness of it by years. The explanation collapses under its own weight. You were not the architect, you were the subject. The knowledge removes the option of indifference. You cannot unsee the alignment. You have two choices. You can stop looking. You can throw the timer in the junk drawer, reset your devices, and let your days blur back into their comfortable, unexamined rhythm. You will know something was wrong, but you will choose to live as if it was never there. The alternative is to follow it. You can stay awake deliberately, dismantle your sleep schedule, and document every second of the gap until it reveals its function. This path cannot be undone. Once you step out of the ordinary, you cannot step back in without knowing you surrendered. The sky shifts from gray to pale blue. The light touches the edge of the counter. The minute is approaching. You have to choose what remains of your old self. You look at the closed drawer. You look at the open notebook. You choose the gap. You place the notebook on the floor. You sit in the dark. You refuse to let it pass. The timer ticks down. You keep your breathing even. You watch the seconds dissolve into the gap. You do not move. The minute passes. The result is quiet. The house continues. You stand and walk to the sink. You wash the cup you drank from. The water is cold. The action is complete. You have broken the cycle by refusing to participate in it. You have traded the illusion of control for the reality of observation. You will never trust a quiet morning again. The cost is structural. It sits in your chest like a new piece of furniture you did not order. You look out the window. The street is awake. You turn off the tap. The shape of it becomes visible only when you stop trying to fix it. The alarm was never the trigger. The package notification, the microwave light, the phone screen, they were never failures. They were markers. The environment was mapping your attention, then adjusting the intervals to hold it. You realized the coffee machine warming was not a mistake, it was a prompt. You realized the journal was never yours, it was a ledger. You realized the routine you built was never a defense. It was a cage with an open door. The why will not be answered. It simply is what it is. It does not want to harm you. It does not want to help you. It just wants you to occupy the space it leaves open. The pattern predates your awareness of it. You are not the one who started it. You close the notebook. You leave the timer on the counter. The kitchen light stays off. You step into the hallway and listen to the house settle. Somewhere a clock ticks. You do not check it. You already know it is exactly 60 seconds ahead. You pull your coat over your shoulders and open the front door. The air is cool. You walk down the steps. Behind you, the bedroom window stays dark. You do not look back. The gap is still there. You just don't need to measure it anymore. You notice the minute. You kept your eyes open. Most people let it slip by, explaining it away until the pattern completes itself. Subscribe. The next story is already waiting for you to stop watching the clock.